Hello everyone and welcome. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the latest episode of Gen V. So this episode starts off with, if I remember correctly, with the promo for the gender blender. So actually, I'm sorry, which bender is going to come out on top? It is the gender bender versus the blood bender, which I find to be very interesting. So they're deciding to go with Jordan being a gender blender for the reason of how their powers work, and then Bloodbender for obvious reasons because Marie uses blood as a weapon. So apparently they don't have a say in the matter. They have no choice whatsoever. They're basically being forced to do this because if they don't, it's going to be the two of them and Emma going back into the prison. And since they don't want to do that to Emma, they decided that they had no choice and they were going to do this. So they then have to go back and kind of regroup. So the plan then is to have Kate kind of work with them to try to figure this out. So I guess the big idea is just trying to get Kate to kind of help them out. While this is also going on, we have a lot of firecrackers, news reports of talking about how Jordan is a liar and that they must be a Starlight sympathizer, which is a whole thing that they don't want to be dealing with, and that Kate seems to be the only one telling the truth. Thank goodness. And so they kind of have that going on. Um, Jordan is basically being looked at as the villain of the entire school. Even though they are still number one, the idea is they are looked at right now as public enemy number one. So the idea is they're going to have the two of them fight it out to see who's better, but also potentially who could be the new number one. So they then meet up with Kate. They find out that she has no powers or her powers don't work. No, I'm sorry, I lied to you. Um, they don't know this yet. They're under the impression that her powers work. So their plan is going to be that they try to get her to use her mind control to try to figure out what's going on. What they find out really is just more the fact of um, sorry. So main thing of what they're trying to do is figure out what their plan is. So Kate is the one to tell them about the vault or the safe that's inside of his home, and they decide to come up with a plan that they're going to figure that out, figure out what's inside. Um, so the idea is she's going to work with Jordan to go there, and Marie is now being forced to go into special classes with Cypher. So the idea is she's going to be going with Cypher. Her idea is have them go and break into the home while Cypher is with her. So one of the big things there is they're trying to figure that piece out. They then go do their own separate thing. Marie is in the area in which like they've been doing their seminar. And so she's like, well, I thought I was fighting somebody. He's like, no, not today. You're only going to be fighting yourself. And so he then begins to have all these like blood bags in front of her to utilize to kind of basically not have them explode. So the idea is very much makes it clear like do not use like don't just feel it. Don't think about it. Don't try to use your other body parts. Just feel it. So the first time she does it without feeling it the way he wants to, the blood bag explodes. However, the second time um, she does it, she actually listens to him and is able to get all of the blood bags over to the other side. So he's very happy about this, very impressed, or I shouldn't say impressed, but very pleased with what he was seeing. So the next test was going to be with the goat, and she's able to do so pretty easily until she's distracted by the fact that she's able to feel the idea that Cypher doesn't have V in his blood, um, which seems to be the more interesting thing. So that's the news that she has to bring to the group. However, because she was distracted, the goat exploded, and blood was everywhere. That was the end of their training session. So when we get to the house with Kate and Jordan, they get to the security guard. She touches him, tells him to go f himself and forget that they were ever there. Well, he grabbed a garden gnome and started doing it to that. And then Kate had to go grab the keys on it, and then they went inside. So they try to open up the safe. The safe is unable to be opened. However, they heard something else, and they went over to this hyperbolic chamber, basically, with a burnt corpse in it, or a burnt looking, well, it looked like a corpse, to be honest with you, or a burnt man is the best way to phrase it. However, once, once they all of a sudden started looking at it, the person woke up, they freaked out, they ran out of it. So then they all meet up together, along with Emma now. Um, they all meet together and explain kind of what's going on. Um, Emma's not thrilled with the idea of working with Kate, made it very clear right from the get-go. However, they also find out that Kate doesn't have her powers, and or at least not able to use them the way she should. She then gets a text from Cypher explaining that he has cameras and, he wants to speak to her. So then they come up with the idea of filming him while in the luxury box for the fight to get him to convince, to admit that he doesn't have any powers. That's when Emma states that she's got a plan, like she'll figure it out. She's got a group of people, she's got a team that can handle this. They're kind of surprised by this, but let her kind of run it. She gets the two girls who we find out one of their powers is the ability to manipulate their hair, but only in their uh, pubic region. So they have that going on. Then they have this other guy who we don't know what his powers are. So I don't know exactly what he's able to do, but we also haven't found that out yet. So we'll have to wait and see. So anyway, the plan is that Jordan and Marie are not actually going to fight. Cypher's going to be exposed at the fight, and Emma is going to be the one to film it all. So her group gets into the underground piping area or maintenance area. Um, they shut off the water. Emma runs down the pipe and begins with the camera, to get to the main area in which, or basically the VIP lounge. So an issue comes, somebody turns the water back on, then we had her use her pubic hair to basically turn the water off again. Um, Emma gets into out or through the toilet, or gets into the toilet in the VIP suite. We have Kate talking with Cypher a little bit. Cypher basically stating that he has to go to the bathroom. Emma has to run up the toilet bowl before he poops on her. And she's able to do so, gets out of there, sets up the camera, um, and then gets out of there. And she meets up with the rest of the group. Then we had them watching the tape, and he basically admits to, or like follows along with Kate, being like, "Oh yeah, I don't have. Yeah, you're right. I don't have any powers. Oh no, that's such a huge problem." And then all of a sudden he goes, "Oh yeah, do you think that's a good enough angle though for you to get of me? Like, do you think that it's like, do you think it should be higher or what?" And Kate was very confused, and he goes over and looks at the camera, and is like, "Hello," and he's like, "Ah, such a horrible angle." He goes, "All you have is just chin hairs and nostrils, really bad." And she's like, "Well, you just said you don't have any V in your system." He goes, "Ah, so that's from Marie, isn't it?" And then all of a sudden, the two of them on the fight don't want, or in the ring, don't want to fight. He then somehow, unclear as exactly how, controls Jordan's body and begins to beat Marie down. Marie eventually stops um, Cypher, because she figures out it's him, lifts up after the fight goes on. She starts getting beat up from Jordan. Excuse me. She then lifts Jordan up. He then releases himself from Jordan. Jordan is now feeling everything. Marie just stops. Everything rolls out of the way. Jordan falls down and does not get back up right away. So Marie is the winner of the fight, technically. And that's how the episode ends. So a couple of things there. We're going to be definitely seeing one, the team get back together to figure out what Cypher is, because Marie doesn't, feel any V in his blood, so she doesn't know, or nobody knows really, how he could be a super. My theory is the fact that he has. I'm wondering if he is a second generation soup, meaning somebody with Compound V had a child, um, and because of that, he doesn't have actual V in the system. He just has a power, and specifically a manipulation. And I believe his dad is actually Godolphin. Um, so we'll have to wait and see to know for sure. But I'm very curious to see what happens. I am very curious to see where this whole thing goes, and also what really happened to Jordan. Is Jordan okay internally, and everything else? We'll have to wait and see. But very excited to see the next couple episodes. I mean, this was, I believe, episode 4, so we're halfway through the season already, and it's only going to get crazier the rest of the half. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you not? And why? And as always, if you like the content you see, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a wonderful night. Bye bye.